Well, we played 6 conference games this week. Went 5-1 in those conference games. You're going to hear a lot of the same thing because it seems like we've got a pattern for how we're playing right now, and it kind of stays the same. There was only one game that was outside that norm. Tuesday we played Benedictine. That was a game we pushed back from last Saturday whenever the weather was predicted to be pretty moist. On Tuesday, Benedictine comes in. I've got Dustin Evie on the mound, and Dustin Evie pretty much just willed us to a win. We win that game 3-1. Dustin gave up a solo home run at the end of the game. He goes, "Man, Coach, I gave up 1 hit." And I go, "You gave up a home run?" And he goes, "Yeah, that was it." And I said, "Well, good job. You got the win for us. Glad to hear. Are you going to be ready for Saturday?" That's automatically where I went to with him. But Dustin has done that for us all year. The one knock on Dustin, who, if you're not familiar with him, a Republic product, he gives up the home run. But other than that, he locks people down. And he did a fantastic job, and it set the tone for us. Because in game 2, Benedictine comes out, and our number 2 starter has been out for now about 2.5 weeks. So we've been kind of searching for who's going to fill that role. Well, one of my relief guys got his second opportunity to fill that role. Had thrown a really great game up at Mid-America. He reversed that and had a real rough outing against Benedictine in game 2. We found ourselves down 9-2, but that mindset that guys like Dustin Evie and Derek Cannell have established on the pitching staff has started to creep into our bats a little bit of don't ever give up and keep fighting. And in the 6th, when we're down 9-2, all of a sudden we found a way to knock their starter, who was their best arm, out of the game, scored 5 runs, make it a 9-7 ball game. Then we proceed to get a walk-off win in the bottom of the 7th. So we took 3 out of the 4 with Benedictine, even though it was a split series. Came into Friday. Baker came in on Friday. Derek Cannell's on the mound for me. Derek Cannell is cruising, has a 2-1 lead in the 7th inning, and they managed to scratch across the run in the top of the 7th to tie it up 2-2. And I thought, all right, we're going extra innings, and at this point, Derek has pretty much maxed out what I'm willing to do with him on the mound. Trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my bullpen, because I'm a man down in that regard with my number 2 being out. And we turn around and get a couple guys on base. I bunt them over to get them 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, and Baker did me the biggest favor they could do. They decided to walk my 2-hole to get to my 3-hole, who wasn't hitting very well at that moment. And I said after the game, I don't think my 3-hole had a hit in about a week and a half, so that's not exactly what you want from the offensive standpoint. But Baker cured that, because at that point my 3-hole got mad enough that he put it off the right center wall opposite field, plated the runs, got us another walk-off, so we got back-to-back walk-offs right there. And then we got into game number 2, and we kind of rolled behind a good pitching performance to a 3-2 victory in game number 2. So we sweep on Friday, come into Saturday, and we're looking at their pitching staff, and we're saying, okay, we've got an opportunity to kind of get our offense going, because that's where we've struggled. Our offense is hitting about 270 on the year. That's in the bottom, really bottom of the conference as far as offensive. I think we're 2nd or 3rd from the bottom, honestly, in that category. And I thought we had an opportunity to get the offense going. We proceed to pull out another 3-2 victory in game number 1 on Saturday. But thankfully the arms have been pulling us through and getting those wins. Game 4, that bullpen fill-in starter got his 3rd opportunity on the mound, and he steps out there and just goes gym for us. 0s all the way through 6. I'm sitting there thinking, hey, we've got an opportunity here, 2-0 to sweep this series, feeling good about it. And as my grandma always told me, when you play with fire too much, you're going to get burned. Well, in those close ball games, we finally got touched by the flame, and Baker managed to get 3 runs in the top of the 7th. One of those was an earned run. We had an opportunity to seal the deal. Coach Gutton was talking a little earlier about the first baseman trying to turn double plays and how it never seems to work out exactly how you like for it to turn out. We had an opportunity to seal a deal when my first baseman gets a ground ball, throw it home, get it out, return it on a super slow runner, and game's over. We get a 2-1 victory. Well, for the second time in 2 weeks, my first baseman decides to spike it in the home, and catcher's mitts just aren't made to scoop very well. So they scored 3 right there, and we got beat in that final one on a tough one. But I'm really excited about the fact that we've developed that culture where we're fighting. If you were here last year and you remember me talking, we were in the mid-teens with 1-run losses. Well, we're reversing that trend this year, and that's a big sign of the determination that some of the junior college guys I brought in and some of our freshmen have brought in, really as a commitment to fight until that last out's made. This week we have C of O scheduled for tomorrow at their place. That should be a doubleheader down there. And then we go to Kansas City to play Avila for a 4-game set starting on Friday, Saturday. So that's Evangel Baseball.